You have been preparing for this meeting for 6 months.
No, 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 no! Daddy! Tell me, how much do you love your family?
Skyscraper is a high-octane action thriller that takes audiences into the heart of danger and resilience with a story that centers on one man's fight to save his family against impossible odds. The film stars a commanding lead performance that brings both physicality and emotional grounding to a narrative built around catastrophic events and personal stakes. From its opening moments, Skyscraper establishes a tone of urgency, tension, and human drama, weaving together an intense plot that keeps viewers on edge as the characters grapple with fear, loss, desperation, and hope. The movie's premise is deceptively simple. A towering architectural marvel becomes a fiery tomb. But the way the story unfolds reveals layers of character, loyalty, and bravery that elevate it beyond a typical action spectacle. It's a story about facing fear, confronting past failure, and finding strength in the most dire circumstances. The central figure at the heart of Skyscraper is a former elite rescue operative, whose life changed when an injury forced him out of the job he loved. That fall from professional grace haunts him, shaping how he views himself and how others see him. When he takes on a new role as a security consultant, the promise of a fresh start and a chance to provide for his family offers a spark of redemption. What he doesn't expect is to be thrust back into the crucible of crisis in a way that will test everything he has learned about leadership, courage, and sacrifice. The relationship between him and his family is not just a narrative device, but the emotional core of the film. It's their connection that fuels his determination when the building they are visiting for business becomes a death trap. Audiences are drawn into his internal struggle as much as the external chaos, rooting for him not just to survive, but to reclaim his sense of self-worth. The cast around the lead creates a dynamic ensemble that enhances the emotional texture of Skyscraper. The interactions between the protagonist and his spouse reveal a deep, loving partnership that history has tested but not broken. Their chemistry brings warmth to the story and makes the stakes feel personal in a way that resonates with anyone who understands what it means to protect the people you love. Supporting roles include colleagues whose loyalties and motives come into question as the plot advances, adding layers of suspicion and intrigue to the narrative. When the crisis erupts, characters who once seemed benign reveal new dimensions, some rising to the occasion with bravery, others faltering under pressure. These shifts add depth to the story and keep audiences guessing about who can be trusted in the situation. Where every decision could spell life or death, Skyscraper's plot unfolds with a relentless sense of momentum. The film begins with glimpses into the protagonist's past failure and his struggle to find his place in a world that seems to have moved on without him. When he accepts an assignment to assess the security of the world's tallest building, a gleaming testament to human ingenuity and ambition, there is a palpable hope that this job could mark a turning point. Arriving with his family for what should be a routine assessment trip, the mood is light at first, full of admiration for the towering structure and excitement about the adventure of seeing the world from above. But that normalcy shatters in an instant when a coordinated attack plunges the building into chaos, trapping innocent visitors and setting off a blaze that defies containment. What began as a celebration becomes a nightmare as flames climb ever upward, cutting off escape routes and turning the skyscraper's dazzling heights into a burning labyrinth as the crisis escalates. The protagonist's training and instincts kick in even as he battles against self-doubt, knowing that the fire is spreading faster than emergency responders can reach, and realizing that his family is isolated on a high floor above the inferno. He makes a decision that defines the heart of the film. He will ascend into the burning tower to save them. This decision is fueled by love and a deep sense of responsibility, even though the odds are overwhelmingly against him. The journey upward is fraught with danger at every turn. Flames, collapsing structures, smoke, and hostile forces all working to thwart his progress. Each obstacle reveals another layer of his resourcefulness, determination, and unyielding will to reunite with his loved ones. The danger isn't just physical. Emotional moments surface as he recalls past regrets and reassures himself that this fight is worth every risk. Skyscraper uses its setting not just as a backdrop, but as a character in its own right. The building's design, once a symbol of innovation and luxury, becomes a treacherous maze where every hallway, elevator shaft, and corner could conceal either hope or disaster. The contrast between the tower's sleek architecture and the violent destruction unfolding within its walls creates a powerful visual and thematic tension. What once represented humanity's reach for the sky now stands as a monument to catastrophe. Yet within this duality lies the story's emotional resonance. Amidst the ruin, human courage and connection persist. The protagonist's climb becomes a metaphorical ascent toward redemption, not only physically scaling the building, but surmounting his own internal fears and past failures. The narrative structure of Skyscraper builds suspense by alternating between intense action sequences and quieter, character-driven moments that highlight what's at stake emotionally, scenes that depict frantic escapes, desperate climbs, and explosive confrontations are interwoven with intimate exchanges between the protagonist and his family that remind the audience why these stakes matter. These quieter scenes, full of heartfelt dialogue and emotional vulnerability, anchor the story in genuine human experience. They provide breathing room amid the adrenaline, deepening the audience's investment in the character's fate. These moments of connection serve as reminders that beyond the spectacle of destruction and heroism, this is fundamentally a story about love, fear, and the lengths one will go to protect those they cherish most. The antagonist forces in the film add another layer of complexity. The coordinated attack on the skyscraper is not random. It hints at larger conspiracies and motives that reach beyond simple villainy. This element introduces a tension between personal survival and uncovering the truth behind the catastrophe, raising questions of accountability, greed, and the dark side of ambition. As the protagonist grapples with these broader implications, he is forced to confront not only the immediate danger but also the systemic failures and betrayals that allowed such a crisis to occur. This intertwining of personal and public conflict elevates the story beyond mere action spectacle into a broader commentary on responsibility and the consequences of power. Unchecked, Skyscraper's release generated excitement among audiences who appreciate visceral, edge-of-your-seat storytelling balanced with emotional depth. The anticipation built around seeing such an extreme scenario played out within the cinematic world of a towering inferno captured imaginations long before the film's debut. Viewers were drawn by the promise of spectacular visuals, innovative action sequences, and a storyline that put family and human connection at its core. As trailers offered glimpses of the perilous climb, the explosive danger, and the protagonist's fierce resolve, audiences began to piece together the emotional and thematic breadth of the story. The promotional material emphasized not just thrilling spectacle, but the emotional weight of one man's journey to overcome his fears and save the people he loves most, setting the tone for what audiences could expect when they experienced the full narrative. The trailer's imagery and sound design played a significant role in conveying the tone and stakes of the film. Audiences saw flashes of the gleaming skyscraper in all its architectural glory juxtaposed with flames ripping through its interior, emergency alarms blaring, and the protagonist racing against time. Moments of near misses, explosive destruction, and harrowing climbs were intercut with shots of family members calling out in fear and hope. This juxtaposition of peril and personal connection created a compelling preview that hinted at the emotional core beneath the film's action-packed exterior. Subtle details in the trailer glances exchanged between characters, the tightening of a hand on a railing. The protagonist's steely determination offered viewers a glimpse into the psychological landscape of the story. It became clear that this was not just another action movie, but a narrative driven by heart, courage, and the struggle to overcome both external obstacles and internal demons. The release date was met with significant anticipation and discussion, as audiences around the world prepared to witness a film that promised to deliver both blockbuster thrills and heartfelt emotion. In theaters, the immersive experience of the soaring heights and devastating destruction was amplified by the communal reaction of viewers, sharing in the tension and relief as the story unfolded. The emotional beats resonated deeply. drawing audible reactions from audiences who laughed, gasped, and held their breath alongside the characters. The collective experience of watching someone fight against the impossible, odds rooting for the protagonist's success and fearing for the safety of his family, created a powerful connection between the film and its viewers. Skyscraper's themes of resilience and redemption found particular resonance with many viewers. The protagonist's journey from professional fallibility to heroic determination mirrored broader human experiences of confronting personal failure and finding